Their coaching staff, a really strong football team on all three sides of the ball, a lot of really tremendous players, a lot of future NFL players on this roster and on this team right now that are, really played at a high level the majority of the year. So this game's going to be what it should be. It's going to be two really good football teams that have had, really good years going at it, and should be a lot of fun. We've, I think, prepared well. It's certainly been different. And having only played one game in a long time, but we've been pretty aggressive about the way that we've prepared, and I like the way our team has handled the changes, the difference in schedule, the postponing of the game last week, and having to switch gears midweek. And I think our guys have done a really good job, and I know we're certainly very excited to head down to Arlington and play this game.
Okay, we'll start with questions with Ryan Aber of the Oklahoman, and then we'll go to Eric Bailey. Ryan?
Yeah, Lincoln, when you look at that game October 3rd versus now in the secondary, how do you feel like, or do you feel like your secondary is better prepared now to handle some of the challenges that Iowa State presents versus a couple months ago?
I think we've improved a lot as a football team. I don't think there's any doubt. Secondary is not any different there. I think we're playing with more bodies. I think the guys that we're playing have all improved as players. I think we've improved as a unit. So we're being very careful about trying to tie too much back to that first game, positive or negative. It's a long time ago. Different setting, different teams are different. Personnel is different. I mean, everything's different. So, this will be its own game. The challenges that Iowa State presents are obviously still there. Still got good players, and they've developed too as the years went on from watching them and having a chance to study them on tape. So, but I'm confident in our guys. We've improved across the board. Our secondary's improved, and but we'll get a great chance to prove it here against a very good group.
Appreciate it, Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Bailey, Tulsa World, and then Joe Bettner.
Lincoln, it's rare for us to talk to you the day before signing day. You've had several commitments for some time, but is there still a sense of celebration and or relief when you get that signature finally on signing day? Can you kind of describe what that's like for you as a head coach?
I would say more excitement. Most players, I wouldn't describe it as relief. I mean, the majority of guys, you kind of know what you're getting. And so that's, we've had a few surprises here and there, and those always go both ways. But I would say the majority of guys, it's just excitement. It's kind of that next step, and you've known that it's coming for a while, and very exciting to see. This year's certainly been unique in that. I mean, we were talking to all of our, future signees and their parents last night via Zoom, and it's hard to believe. I hadn't seen these guys' faces in so long, and now they're signing tomorrow, and I think it'll be interesting. I think as we watch across the country, just the how teams approach this, because just so much has changed. I mean, you haven't been able to go out and evaluate these guys in a long time. Getting close to a year now. You've got the transfer portal open, which is going nuts. You've got the prospect of immediate eligibility coming up. It'll be interesting. I could see a lot of people signing. It'll just be interesting what people do. I don't want to speculate too much right now, but schools are going to have more options after signing day than they've ever had. And so it'll be just interesting to see, how everybody fills their rosters and everybody approaches it, because like normally in a year like this, you might have 2 or 3 guys at the end that maybe haven't committed or maybe that have popped up to your recruiting as of late and you've signed. And we've been no different than a lot of people in that way. Maybe you may not see as much of that this year, again, just with not having a chance to go out and evaluate guys. Some of the guys that popped up late, it's, you're having to make decisions totally based on, even with some guys you've never even met, which is, I know it's hard for a player to, as far as maybe schools they haven't seen or had the chance to build a relationship with. And then it's hard for, us on the other side, in that, we're making decisions for the future of our program. And it's difficult to do that with people you've never seen maybe play live or never met or all that as well. So it'll be an interesting signing day and next couple of months after for sure.
Thank you, Lincoln.
Let's go to Joe Bettner, Norman Transcript, and then Jason Kersey.
Lincoln, you talked so much about, just accepting the situations that you guys been dealt and not having, just having one game in the past month. I would assume that's still difficult to manage. And what has maybe helped you keep that kind of just, approach as far as, accepting the situation, but also it just seems like something that would be difficult to manage as a head coach.
Yeah, I mean that's why I get paid. I mean that's my job, and you just got to find a way to do it. This team and this staff has made it, and not just they've not just made it easier, but they've made it fun, and we found a way. We've changed up our practice schedule quite a bit. We've done some different things to challenge our guys in different ways to kind of freshen it up, because just going there and just practicing every single day. I mean, at this point of the season, I mean, it's great work, but I think mentally you need a little bit of a refresher. Normally you get that on weekends with the games, and we hadn't had that, quite as often this year. So it's, we've done some different things, especially here in the last 7 or 8 days, I think that have, have been good for our football team and put us in some good situations as far as practice and preparing. And so, it is what it is, and I still believe we've prepared well, and still believe we will be very prepared going into this game.
Thanks, Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Kersey, The Athletic, and then Bob Prisbillo.
Yeah, Lincoln, you've said many times that scheme wasn't important when you were hiring a DC a few years ago and that you wanted to change the culture. So when you were interviewing Alex, when you were considering him, what was his pitch to you about that? What did he say he was going to do to fix the culture? And then how did he set about doing it?
When we first started having conversations, I honestly didn't tell him a whole lot about the situation here. I didn't really describe a whole lot about what I was looking for. I was just interested in, all right, if you come in here day one, what does this look like, from your perspective? And I just wanted to see how that matched up with, kind of what I had envisioned. And, as we started having those conversations and they were kind of wide ranging, from development of players to development of overall culture mentality. Certainly the, installing and kind of what we believe in scheme wise. It fit. I mean, like literally I if I would have gone first and I would have been the one to describe everything I was looking for, it would have sounded very, very similar. And so I knew that was a good start. And and then I think it's just been, it's anytime something like that, it's just brick by brick. There's no magical moments. There's no moment where all of a sudden it's figured out and it's good. I mean, it's just a brick by brick, day by day type of mentality. And there's been a lot of good moments. There's been a lot of tough moments in between. That's just the nature of taking on something like that. But I think, our whole program was bought in from the beginning, and I think, I was bought in from the beginning. The rest of our staff, we hired, coaches around Alex in the with the positions that were open, that were guys that had worked with him in the past and guys that had a very similar belief system. And so we went all in with it, I guess you'd say. And we've been committed to it. Alex, all of us, even when we've had a few of the tough moments. We hadn't had many, but even in a few of the tough moments, we've stuck with it. Our players have bought in and responded. And the good thing is, again, it's still not where it's going to be. It's a lot of great stuff right now. We're definitely climbing, but it's going to get better too.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Bob Prisbillo with Sooner Scoop, and then John Hoover.
Yeah, Lincoln, when it comes to this year's signing day class, how often was name, image, likeness brought up either by you guys or by recruits and their families?
It was brought up. We tried to be pretty forthcoming with our recruits and families about our plans for it. If it does go into effect like we all expect that it's going to, we were pretty forthcoming about that. And it's a balance. It's you want our message has been, which is kind of who we are, has been, there's kind of two sides of this. Sure, we want every player that comes through here and does a good job and works hard and is a great member of this team and this university to have opportunities to capitalize on it. Of course we do. I mean, that's no different to me than being thrilled when a player gets drafted first overall, or a player goes and gets that first great job in business, or whatever has it. You want these guys to be successful and have opportunities. I mean, they work hard, and that's some of the benefits that you get with this if you do it right. And so I don't view this any different, and we want to equip our guys to do that. But at the same time, we always want to make sure here that the team is first, and players, families, everybody needs to understand. We want you to have individual goals. We want you to have aspirations. We want you to have individual opportunities, no doubt. But if you'll do it within the framework of the team, then you are going to have more success individually. This team's going to have more success collectively. We're all going to be in it together, and then everybody's happy. And so we've laid out a plan that we feel like to be able to accomplish both. And, it'll obviously be interesting as it comes up, because it's going to, there's going to be a lot of things that haven't been thought about that we're going to have to work through. But it's been certainly a topic, I mean, without a doubt.
Let's go to John Hoover with SI Sooners, and then Chandler Engelbrecht.
Hey, Lincoln, yesterday I asked you about the foundation that Matt Campbell and John Heacock and those guys have kind of laid there at Iowa State for defensively. What about the talent that they have on the field, the players themselves? They might have 4 first-team all-conference guys. They probably have the player of the year. What makes them so good individually, and what allows them to perform so well as a team, as a unit?
Kind of what we said yesterday. I mean, that's good coaches. It's a good scheme. And it's a lot of good players that played a lot of ball. I mean, getting the Bailey kid back for them was huge this year. He's such a, really good experienced players. I mean, guys like him and Eisworth and some of those guys, God, it feels like we've been playing against those same guys for like 10 years. And they're good players, man. They are. Rose, I mean, all those guys obviously are really, really good players. Got good players in secondary, linebackers everywhere. So, they have good talent. I mean, this isn't some Rudy story. I mean, this is not some, they're just, finding a way with bad players. I mean, they have good players. I mean, and they have had good players. And and that's obviously their credit. They've done a great job developing those guys. The players, you could tell, I'm sure have worked hard to be able to play at the level they have. So, I mean, I just think they do what other good units across the country do: combine good players, good scheme, and good coaches, and you're going to a lot of times have a good result.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Chandler Engelbrecht, OU Daily, and then Cliff Brunt.
Hey, Coach. This season, you guys have managed to do something that's completely unprecedented, and that's just play. You talked about it earlier, but managing to get through almost an entire season with little to no COVID issues, just having the one cancellation is in its own right pretty impressive. What do you guys think, or what do you think is the biggest lesson your team has learned this season, and what allowed your team to persevere through this year?
Yeah. I'd say we've all learned quite a bit. I mean, just, don't doubt what's possible. I think really the ultimate season and controlling what you can control. And then I think, just appreciating the opportunities to play, and maybe something that at times we all take for granted that, this year we haven't. And so whether it's a team being able to play, an individual, not as it's I don't know, it probably hadn't hit me yet, maybe even not all our guys yet. I'm sure as this season wraps up and comes to a close, it will more. We're kind of so much in the middle of it right now, and that's the main focus. But yeah, I think when it's all said and done and we look back on it, the fact that we've been able to play and even get even close to somewhat of a full season in, considering all the challenges, is pretty remarkable.
Cliff Brunt, AP, and then Brandon Drum.
Yeah, Coach, how would you say Spencer Radler has improved since the early part of the season in terms of handling being pressured and in terms of being willing to use his legs to make plays, whether it's extending a play in the passing game or by occasionally taking off and running with the ball?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I think he's getting better. I mean, I saw a PFF stat where I think he's the number one guy at the country at that. So, I mean, to be the number one guy in the country, it probably was pretty good most of the way. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just such an overall deal for the quarterback. I mean, it he is improving as we go. There's no question in my mind. He's seeing things better as we go, without a doubt. I mean, making a lot of the improvements that I, expected that he would make, and growing each week. But he's always had a good feel for that. I mean, that's when pressure's coming and when he's got to make a play and under pressure, when he's got to make a play outside the pocket. I mean, all that is, I think, some of his strengths as a player, and I think that's just gotten better and better as the years been on.
Brandon Drum, OU Insider, and then James Hale.
Yeah, Lincoln, you talked about signing day and just how difficult this recruiting process has been, not being able to get face-to-face with the players, only being able to talking through Zoom and stuff like that. Can you walk how difficult it is to pitch, not doing the normal handshakes, being able to see them when they come to the campuses and stuff like that? Just how hard has it been to get a player that has never seen you in person to buy into the Sooners program overall?
Yeah, no, it certainly hadn't been easy for us or for those players, just because when guys come here and they see our place and they get around our people, it does nothing but help. And so not having that has been difficult, and you're trying to create things that normally are able to happen in person. You're trying to recreate experiences. You're trying to recreate not really recreate, but build relationships in a different way. And I don't know. It's weird. It's almost like the deal with the team right now. I mean, everything's so different, and it's so different in recruiting that in a way, with your bond, maybe with the parents and the players, in a weird way, is almost closer in that it's like, man, we're kind of like going through this together a little bit. We're both agonizing on you not being able to be here and us not being able to be there. That maybe even more communication and maybe even that kind of bringing us together with a lot of these families and recruits. And we've been lucky. I mean, I'll be honest, the class that we're signing, these guys that are committed, these parents that have been a part, obviously, of this process as well, have been unbelievable. I mean, I couldn't ask more of how good those people have been to work with, and how understanding and flexible and open-minded they've been, because they have certainly made it a lot easier, made this class already very memorable.
Okay, a few more here. James Hale, KREF, and then Chase Goodbread.
Lincoln, sometimes we forget about special teams, but they mean so much in games like this. At least you're going to have a dry field and, that kind of thing. They think they're pretty good in special teams too. You've been good all year pretty much in special teams. Talk about your units and what do you think you can get out of them on Saturday, and how much of an advantage do you have in the special teams going into the game?
Yeah, no, it's always important. I mean, it's games like this, championship games, they always seem to show up. This will be no different. You go back to the first game. I mean, that was, probably the single most influential play in the game was the long kickoff return after we had held them and I think gotten a turnover and then just scored. And so, no, they're going to be huge. I mean, without a doubt, you got two, talented teams, two really good teams going at it, and obviously a chance for big plays on both sides, because both teams both are very solid and also have explosive potential on kind of all the teams. So no, I think that's could you envision that being a differentiating factor? Absolutely.
Thanks.
Chase Goodbread, NFL.com, and then Barry Trammell.
Coach, Jalen Hurts and Kyler Murray are going to be going head-to-head on Sunday as starters in the Eagles-Cardinals game. How would you describe what each of those guys had in terms of makeup to adjust to the NFL and put themselves in a position to start so early in their careers as pros?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's going to be exciting to watch those two go at it. I can't lose, which that's a good feeling to be in. So I'll have it'll be definitely mixed emotions watching them go at it, but really cool to see them get a chance. And as far as their makeup, I mean, I think they're both confident guys, you know, in who they are, and confident being able to go into any situation and lead and play well, play at a high level. I think they both have that. They're both obviously, you know, two very skilled football players. And then I think it helps, you know, the fact they've been in a program like this with the amount of eyes on it, the expectations, playing, you know, great competition, playing in the biggest and best games in college football, becoming, you know, which is kind of the norm here. I think the experience of not only playing quarterback at a elite Division I, you know, university and football program, but also more than that, playing quarterback at Oklahoma is a little different. And I think all those things combined have, you know, helped them as players and challenges they've had to face here. And I think it gets them ready for the challenges that they're, you know, currently facing right now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Trammell, the Oklahoman.
Yeah, Lincoln, the playoff is perhaps out of your reach. You'd need a lot of help probably to get there now. But you got a chance to win the Big 12 for the 6th straight time. How much pride do you take in that 5-year run? And how much does it mean to the program to keep that domination of the conference going?
It means a lot. I mean, I, you know, kind of came in here on the ground floor of that, and I said I remember at the time coming in, not totally knowing, you know, what the rest of the league and all that as well as I did, but I remember thinking that, you know, we're going to be a big climb to go get one of these right now. And, you know, we were able to do it that first year with Coach Stoops leading the way, and we've been able to get on a pretty good run since then. And so, yeah, I do take pride in it. I mean, certainly it's a huge accomplishment. I mean, there's a reason why it hadn't happened in major college football, but, you know, very often. I mean, it's just so hard to do and do it that consistently. And I guess just consistently putting yourself in those opportunities where you've got a chance to be good enough to be in that game and to win those games and to have those opportunities for championships and playoff and national championships and all that. You just, to me, you just always want to be in the picture. And we've been able to do it with a lot of different teams, a lot of different ways, different strengths. So, no, it is. It's, you know, and then I just think coaching here, you love being in these games. I mean, these games are awesome, man. I mean, that's it, because you don't even know that you're going to get them. There's not a guarantee in any year that you're going to get this game, and the opportunity that comes along with it. So I love them. I relish these kind of games. And it certainly means a lot.
Okay, Coach, do you have time for one more?
Sure.
Okay, we'll go to Keegan Renaud, Sooners Wire.
Yeah, Lincoln, Jaden Hazelwood got to come back and then missed a game. Obviously, we don't know the reasons why for that, but did it kind of delay his time getting back into the rhythm of the offense? And how do you feel like he's getting back into it?
Yeah, no, it did. I mean, no really way around that. I mean, you don't have spring ball for him. You don't have training camp. You don't have first couple months of the season. All of a sudden, you're thrust back into it. I mean, you know, he needs every single day right now, and he's getting better quickly. He's everything about him is getting better quickly, but every day is important. And so, yeah, all of a sudden to not have him for, you know, well over a week there was, you know, it delayed the process. I wouldn't say a step back, but it just obviously delayed the process of him growing as a player and getting closer and closer to full strength. So, but yeah, it's been good to have him back now. He's, you know, getting better and better, and you know, no doubt you can see the progress each and every day.
Thanks, Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks, Coach. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
All right, see you all tomorrow.
Thanks for listening to the weekly Lincoln Rally press conference presented by Allstate. Protecting you has no offseason. You're in good hands with Allstate. For the Sooner Sports Network in Learfield, IMG College, I'm Chris Plank.